So I get a ton of questions of you guys asking me what is the best gear, whether it's everything or just a regulator, just a BCD, a knife, even just everything in between. So I want to start making a series about what I think is the best gear, or at least what I use, and I would only use the best gear. All right, so in this video, I want to talk about regulators. So I don't just want to talk about regulators, what's the best brand, stuff like that, because there's a lot of good brands out there. There is a lot of bad brands or junk brands, ones that you don't want to use. Maybe I'll get into that in another video if you guys want. But the point is, I want to talk about how you can find a really high quality brand of regulator. In this case, my Dive Right. And you can make it yours. And what I mean by that is you really customize it to fit you. That's what I love about dive gear, especially if you use modular, harness, backplate, BCDs. You can really make it fit and customize to your liking and comfort and all that, so that it's perfect for you. You can't really do that with a jacket style. I absolutely hate jacket style BCDs. Don't get me wrong, back in the day, that's really all there was. I did my whole dive master and every other course below that with Aqualung, whatever it was, in Egypt, and it was fine. If you don't know, you don't know. It's fine if you've never been in a backplate. Anyways, that's gonna be for another video. Let's talk about customizing your regulator and making it perfect for you. So, like I said, I got my Dive Right. So I've used 100 different brands of regulators, everything from Tusa to Dive Right and everything in between. And just, I feel like I've stopped on Dive Right. I feel like this is the best regulator I've ever had, and things to look for in dive gear in particular, and especially regulators, is comfort, reliability, easy to have service or get service kits for yourself or your dive shop, whatever you're doing. And Dive Right really they cover all those bases. They're really high-end regulator. They're not cheap by any means, but you only have to buy it once in your lifetime. So after that, after you've taken care of that, you have a really great first stage, and in this case I'm using this second stage, 2 of them. I have some others. I'll make some other videos about that. There are other models of Dive Right, but I love this one. After you have those, you can customize it, make it fit you. All right, so let's get into that. First of all, first and foremost, and hey, there's a lot of different ways. I'm just showing you what I use in my configuration. But for me, there is nothing but DIN. I would never use yoke again. DIN. All my regulators are DIN. Even our shop rentals are DIN. We teach in DIN. Everything. Of course, we show our students yoke as well, because you go to the States and there's mostly yoke, or the Caribbean. But the rest of the world uses DIN, and it's just a much better setup. All right, and if that wasn't true, tech divers would be using yoke. They would be that's all there is to it. I got a 300 bar DIN valve on all my tanks, and a DIN connector on all my regulators. So that's the first thing. It's a preference thing, but for you guys that don't know, you're coming here to do your open water, whatever, just take my word for it. All right, if you ever go tech, I have of course it's not the same exact regulator, but I have these first stages and second stages on my twin sets, on my side mount sets, on my, I believe I even have these on my stage tanks and O2 Deco bottles. The point is, just get DIN. If it was yoke, tech divers would be using them. No tech diver ever uses these. All right, so I got my DIN first stage. Goes like this. If it's behind me, it'd be like this on the tank, on the cylinder for you little purists. All right, so me, I hate a huge console. And most, even Dive Right comes with a small console with 1 gauge. But me, I prefer this, 1 gauge, all right? 1 single gauge with no housing around it. This one is perfect from Dive Right, comes straight from Dive Right like this, the gauge at least, but it had a big plastic housing around it, which I really don't like. I know it's protection and all that, but I found that when I need to get serviced, I look under that plastic housing, and that's just a trap for salt and water, and there's a lot of corrosion under there because it's really hard to or maybe impossible to clean under that plastic housing. So I pried it off, got it off. It was not easy, but yeah, that's the first thing I did. Now I just got a single big, who knows, maybe that's probably 2 inches or something, gauge, pressure gauge. All right. Second thing is I put on a bolt snap. This is single ender, of course. And I did make a video on how to tie bolt snaps. But I believe these are from Dive Right. Dive Right also comes out with these little bands. And I'll be honest, they're so much easier. I've just been using them. So yeah, these little bolt snap bands. They're not too, they're very sturdy and strong, but they're not too strong where I can't just like rip them off. A lot of you tech divers or cavers message me in that bolt snap tying video where I do it with cave line and said that you do it with a zip tie and a rubber O-ring so that you can break it off if you get snagged on something. Well, this is somewhere in between, so I really like it. So the bolt snap goes here. That's the first thing I did. I think this might have came out of the box like from Dive Right like this, but you better have 1 gauge here, and it'll just snap to your BCD right here, or if you're on twins, it would be down here on your D-ring, whatever. But this is a perfect setup for me. Just a simple gauge. I hate those big consoles. Don't even get me started. I hate them. Now, second thing I did, I do a lot of guiding with underwater photographers. I have had a lot of people like get real low on air. This is a preference thing, all right? I've heard arguments. It doesn't matter. I have all the configurations. I'm just showing you what I'm using. I like the long hose, okay? I have a lot of purists say, oh, that's just for cave diving in case somebody gets stuck. They can breathe off you like way back there. Well, it's the same concept in the ocean, man. If I don't want to go straight up, you know, arm in arm with my guy that's out of air, well, he can be on my side. Sometimes it's not safe to go straight up, and I have a lot of gas. We can still do a 5-meter swim towards a boat, and he can be on my long hose. This, I believe I made it. It's about 1.8 or 2 meters. It was the perfect size for me. I'm a big dude, and it wraps perfectly. So, of course, if you don't know how to run a long hose, let me see if I can do it. This will just go under your right arm, around your shoulder, and like this. If you're on twins or whatever, it snaps onto your D-ring, and when you're not using it, unsnap it and put it on. This dangly part under your arm, I have a little clip that is on my belt, my waist belt, and this just clips down here, so it is I don't know if you can see that. I'll show an underwater clip. It's just basically out of the way. The second thing I did, I think it came from Dive Right like this. I'm not really sure. By the way, I had this made. You can do it anywhere. If you're in Philippines, you can do, I think it's called Philtech in Manila online. They'll do it. these custom braided hoses. By the way, I love rubber hoses, especially these ones that came from Dive Right. Where I'm at, I couldn't get these custom length hoses in rubber, especially the colored ones. They're all braided. I really don't like braided. It pulls the little hairs on the back of my neck. It's annoying. But anyway, try to get rubber when you're making your own hoses, all right? Now, what I did is on my long hose, I use a 45-degree angle. I don't use a 90. So it'll be like this, all right? And if it was like this, it would just be a longer loop sticking out. But right here, I did have a 90 on there, I think straight from Dive Right, and it was just too close to my face like this. But the 45, it's just, yeah, this little piece right here. And then of course, I have another bolt snap. All right, awesome rig, it breathes so easy. So that is my, one of my second stages, my primary donate long hose. So my other second stage, I made a custom hose. Now this one is my short hose, but it was too short for me because I'm a big dude. It was about 5 inches too short. So when you put this, I had to make a necklace. Oh, I don't have any here, but my twin set regs, my side mount regs, all those, Dive Right actually makes a necklace. It comes, you can order that with it. Otherwise, just put a bungee and like a zip tie or something. Maybe one day I'll show you. I'll make a video about making necklaces. Anyway, if the hose is too short, it was like this. It's like this, and if I have to use it, I'm just like, you can't turn your head. So what I do when I'm fitting these, I'll have me or my student or whoever's doing it, you put it on the tank, put it in the proper spot, put it in your mouth, and then turn your head. And if you could turn your head, like, that's how I knew it was too short for me. It would just like be cranking. It wouldn't be easy to breathe. So now I can you see that? I can turn my head. So the short hose was too short, so I made it a little longer. I think it's like 28. I can't remember how long it is. It doesn't matter. I'm a big dude. You guys measure it and make your own. All right, so that's about it. It's really self-explanatory. This is what I use. You don't have to have a long hose. You could have 2 of these. Maybe get a yellow hose on your emergency one, your octopus, whatever. But I'm always guiding. I like having this right here, situated under my chin. This is a mess right now because I'm just kind of dangling it, but I'm like this. Somebody comes up, they grab my regulator because they're out of air. I'll just let it go. They can take off and be about 5 foot away from me, not bother me. I'll calm them down. Good to go. So there you have it, guys. I think that's it. You get a really good brand for one that you're never gonna have to buy again, that you could always service, like Dive Right, my favorite. You might as well just get Dive Right. I mean, you'll never go wrong with Dive Right. And another thing I love about them is they make everything across the board. I mean, from fins to mask, everything. So they have everything for recreational diving, like single tank, whatever. They have everything for technical diving, even a CCR. I'm gonna try the CCR, the Choptima, at the end of the year. Maybe if I go to DEMA or whatever. They make everything. They started off as a very serious company, small group of divers that just started off in the technical division, and we're just making really high quality, bomb-proof stuff that they want to use, that they needed. And it just evolved, and then they started making recreational gear. And they would be an awesome, I don't know if they ever work with SDI, TDI, but it's kind of the same story as them. TDI, the company, started off in technical division, and they're no nonsense. You know, they switched over and made, not switched, but expanded and made their recreational division, and they're no nonsense training material, and they're this very, very high end quality just transferred over to the recreational side. So very highly respected, and Dive Right is kind of, it reminds me of that same story. So you can't go wrong. I don't care what you're doing with Dive Right. So get the first, the second stages custom, and the gauge, and then customize the lengths of the hoses, whether you want just your octopus on your side like normal, or a long hose configuration, whatever. And yeah, get yourself fitted out right and comfortable. No reason to not be. So let's talk about BCDs in the next video. All right, see you guys.